So Microsoft just launched a new AI gaming model. If you're thinking that AI image is cool or AI voice is cool, how about generating entire worlds and games only with AI? Let's talk about it. So Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, had this to say about this project called MUSE. So let's take a quick look here.
I think we're going to call it MUSE, as what I learned is they're going to be the model of this world action or human action model. And this is very cool. See, one of the things that, obviously DALL-E and Sora have been unbelievable in what they've been able to do in terms of generative models. And so one thing that we wanted to go after was using gameplay data. Can you actually generate games that are both consistent and then have the ability to generate the diversity of what that game represents, and then are persistent to user mods, right? So that's what this is. Mm-hmm. And so they were able to work with one of our game studios, and this is the other publication in Nature. And the cool thing is, what I'm excited about is bringing, so we're going to have a catalog of games soon that we will start sort of using these models, or we're going to train these models to generate. And then start playing them. And in fact, when Phil Spencer first showed it to me, where, he had an Xbox controller and this model basically took the input and generated the output based on the input. And it was consistent with the game. And that to me is a massive, moment of wow. It's kind of like, for the first time we saw ChatGPT complete sentences, or DALL-E draw, or Sora. This is kind of one such moment.
Yeah, it definitely is one such moment. Now, this is not the first time we've seen world models and character building and game development happening with, both ChatGPT, but also 3D rendering models and other sources to actually make the game. But it is quite a bit different. Now, one of the things, let's break it down exactly what it is and why it's a little bit different. Now, you might have seen this gameplay here, and they're trained from a lot of hours on gameplay from this game called Bleeding Edge. And the issue that arises is that the quality is very, very low. It can only render gameplay sequences at low 300 by 180 resolution over several minutes, resulting in some garbled graphics. So you can take a quick look at the actual gameplay here. So this is me playing a PlayStation 1 in my basement with my friend, except it's worse. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm just gonna keep smashing buttons. One of the things with game dev is that there are so many games now that have a very straightforward path to make a game like this. If you want to make an FPS shooter, then you just download a bunch of packages and stuff like that, and you can build around that. But I want to show exactly what was better with this one in general. So at Xbox, we're all about using AI to make things better and more fun for players and game creators. We want to bring more games to more people around the world and always stay true to the creative vision and artistry of game developers. We believe generative AI can boost this creativity and open up new possibilities. This is where they introduce MUSE. Now, this is a world human action model, and for short, this is a WHAM. They did launch this on Hugging Face as well. So they have, I'm not sure if this is open source or if you can completely use all of it for with no restrictions. However, it seemed like you can actually download it and run it on your computer here, which is a very, very interesting step forward. What's groundbreaking about MUSE is its detailed understanding of the 3D game world, including in-game physics and how the game reacts to players' controller actions. What MUSE means for gaming is that we believe this could radically change how we preserve and experience classic games in the future and make them accessible to more players. That would be really interesting. You just have the Super Mario Bros. And then you just like generate me 10 more levels, and I'll play those as well. And all of a sudden, you got literally an extension of the game that you just used AI to train. It does seem a little bit like that, especially in the form of 3D. So, not a 2D game, but it should be pretty similar. We'll create opportunities for people to participate in this exploration, starting with short interactive AI game experiences for you to try on Copilot Labs very soon. They had a quick video that Satya shared here, and he says, let's play Bleeding Edge. And here it is creating some game experience. And here there isn't really much going on right now on the video itself, except it's actually just making the game, playing at 10 FPS, 300 resolution, coming soon to Copilot Labs. Needless to say, it's obviously a very, very interesting thing to happen. And just as image generation has become better, it's obviously impossible to say better, but essentially AI image generation is so good now that it's better, quote unquote, than photographers, graphical designers, even text image generation is so good now. The same is happening with voice as well, having ultra realistic voices that you can clone from other people. This is obviously at like a level 8. It's not like a level 10 yet that you can't hear that it's not me and it's a clone. But to see this come into gameplay kind of paints the picture that we are going to have an AI generated operating system in the future. This is one of the things that I've been looking at, where right now you have apps on your computer, say for example Photoshop, but in the future, what I think basically the reality of the future and coding and programming and stuff is that instead of saying I'm going to click on Photoshop, you just tell the AI, make me a Photoshop clone. Or you can even tell it, I want to edit this image to become this other thing. And to see this entering the gameplay space is just absolutely beautiful. Because imagine you can create a game and then you can edit the game with natural language. So you can basically say, hey, I want a box over here. Hey, can you make this a little bit more Italian? Can you make this a little bit more, French or whatever? Put some baguettes over there. And technically, you could probably do that. Hey, by the way, if you like this video, click on subscribe. Also, check out the full video over on our podcast channel. You can find that in the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it. Now, there is a hot take here from Sean that said, as someone who watches this space closely, I'm not convinced that this will revolutionize game dev workflows. He says that the experts seem to agree with me. Mike Cook points out this is nowhere near AI actually designing games, which is really what we want to see. And I'm gonna absolutely slaughter this name. Raised the practical question, what studio has 7 years to train an AI model like this? So that's one of the things. It actually took 7 years of gameplay data to actually generate not even that realistic video game footage. Of course, it's pretty impressive, but it's not really that impressive if it takes 7 years. But we're only in the beginning phases of this, so I don't take that really that deep into heart. The telling tale, Microsoft wouldn't ever confirm if Xbox devs plan to use it. The fundamental challenge for AI in creative spaces remains. Truly innovative game designs comes from breaking rules and introducing novel concepts, exactly what current AI struggles with. I'll be watching to see if MUSE 2.0 can break beyond its training limitations, but for now, file this under cool tech demo rather than game-changing tool. And that brings us to just what is interesting game design and what are interesting games. I can take easily seeing Fortnite and the rise of battle royale games was just the simple idea of a world that is closing in on each other and having a little bubble at the end. We also had an amazing launch of a new game this year called Balatro. Did you hear about this one, Mike? Balatro.
Oh, no. Nope. I'm not that huge of a gamer, so no.
Yeah, this essentially, and it went as an indie developer. He was basically developing this game over, I think, 2 to 3 years on his spare time creating a game that would just be fun for him and his friends. So he created really interesting game mechanics. He created a roguelike card game that, to explain it to somebody that's never played it, like all these jokers in the top give you multipliers. If you, for example, play all hearts, or if you play all straight, or if you play in different ways. And this has never been seen before. This was a completely new idea that he made up himself. And because of that, it got like a viral hit. So many people playing it. Everybody just absolutely loving it, and just on the novel idea point. And that's one of the things that AI can't really do. When it comes to, we've found that in many areas, they are really good at doing things that's been done in the past for years and years and years, taking that inspiration and just making it better. But when it comes to truly novel ideas that we haven't seen before, that actual humans are going to play, and the humans actually might find interesting, that's going to be a different challenge. The thing is, though, that even though this model here is not the greatest that we've seen so far, it looks pretty grainy, it's only the first step towards an AI world with AI games and AI social media content, AI jobs, AI agents, and all of these things. And seeing that AI can create this at a speed that is way faster than many game developers, they could be able to create a game that might have novel new ideas, ship that to the world, and see if the world actually likes it, then take the feedback from that and iterate back on the idea itself, making a perfect closed feedback loop on making the most viral game of all time. So we've talked a lot about AI images, AI video, but here we have more AI games. So wanted to bring this one to you. Hopefully some of you can benefit from this.
I don't even know if it's available. I obviously didn't research this as far as that. But like the one use case that you talked about that I didn't actually find anywhere is like you can have a game, and obviously you can have different levels and stuff. But then if the AI model you can just prompt it to generate more levels for you based on the game. That's such a good use case. And like even if it's like extra paid feature, like I'll be happy to just pay for it, right? For AI to generate more levels for me so I can enjoy the game for longer. So yeah, it's such a cool use case.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I know a lot of game developers, they generate the first part of the game, and the last part of the game is kind of like you maybe should integrate a new mechanic or something like that when you're actually late in the game. And like the beginning of the game is really fun, but then it kind of tapers off at the end. If there are ways to use AI to actually make the end game even more fun, that will obviously be really, really interesting. So yeah, we'll stick a pin in it for now and keep everybody updated. Hey, so if you loved this clip, we actually have a full-length podcast that you can check out in the link in the description down below. A lot more to cover. All right, see you there.